Welcome to Network Today. We're so excited to have an awesome episode. I'm Cheryl Powers.
I'm Rob Bliss.
And we're here to take you from meeting people to
making money. It's right here, Cheryl.
Right. So if you didn't join us for episode 1, this is episode 2. We're going to talk about no-nos.
And I've got a lot to share with you today, Cheryl.
Sure you do. So networking's a long game. So what we're all about is helping you with tools, with the discussion points to start tightening up that long game. Make it a shorter game when you're meeting people to then the ROI of making money, right? Because we all have to make money at the end of the day. So that's the point. So we're going to focus on no-nos, which sounds a little negative, right? It's, however, designed to help you get those no-nos out of the way so you can spend more time on the good stuff,
Absolutely.
right? The things that are productive. So that's what this episode is all about. Networking no-nos, things not to do. And we've got a whole list.
Yeah, and it's just, I just want to really emphasize too on this. I think this is a very important topic, because again, if we keep on doing the things over and over again that are wrong, it's going to take that networking part. Like you said, it's the long game, and it's going to keep on getting longer and longer if we don't know kind of what the rules of the game are. And so again, what we want to accomplish here is to shorten that for them. But this is a very important segment. So
it is, and it's an evolutionary process. Now, one of the reasons that Rob came up with this idea for this show was because there were so many mistakes that we made that we don't want you to make the same mistakes. Don't BS, right? So learn from us, learn from the things that we didn't do right. And then let's concentrate on getting you into productivity faster.
Yeah. It's just like practicing a new sport or whatever. It's, they always say it's practice, practice, practice. And again, the same thing happens in learning your networking skills. Practice, practice, practice.
Right. Oh my goodness. There's a great quote. I'm going to give it to you a little later on in this episode. I'm going to look it up, but it has to do with that. I heard it yesterday from a gentleman. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Yes. So I have to give you a real life example of a big fat no-no. Can we just start with that?
A major faux pas?
Yeah, a major faux pas. So this was a gentleman that nobody will know because he reached out to me on LinkedIn. And he's not from this state. So that's kind of always, for me, a flag. So if you do want to join me on LinkedIn, I don't know that we say that enough. Cheryl with an S, Powers as in Austin, and Rob Bliss as in happiness is, right? So join us on LinkedIn and don't do this. Right? Here's what this person said. So he reached out to me, not from my state. So that's my first thing, but I'm going to read what their message is just to see if there's some synergy. And he says, Cheryl, I'm intrigued by your background in M&A. Mergers and acquisitions, if you don't know what M&A stands for. I was hoping to connect to see if we can help your clients receive a higher initial offer/purchase price with the help of our reputation management services. What's wrong with this message to me?
Well, you just know it's a spam message. He's sending it out to 5,000 people, doesn't know who you are, doesn't care. Didn't
look. So here's a big fat no-no. Don't do anything without doing a little bit of investigation. I mean, truly. So here's what I said. Hey, Kevin, I think you might have sent this to me by mistake. I can only hope that it was a mistake. So there we go. That was a big fat no-no, not doing the research in advance.
Absolutely. People are, they're thinking that they just got to go out there and do these mass email broadcasts and so on. But, what I would really encourage people to remember is less is more. Take the time, like you said, Cheryl, to do the research. Sure. And then you're going to find out in the long run, again, that you're going to get more qualified prospects.
Yeah. And truly, qualified is so much better than quantified. I believe. So that's just how I operate. Yeah. Now, I do know some people who they love spamming everybody. They want 10,000 connections on LinkedIn a day, right? Mm-hmm. They're happy with that. That's just not how I like to operate. Yeah. And I think you're better off erring on the side of doing a little investigation before you actually begin the messaging process.
Great advice.
So didn't you say that you also had somebody who responded to an email that was a similar situation where they didn't actually read the email, right? And then it didn't come across very well? Yeah. So there we go. There's a no-no.
Well, I've got, let me come right back at you with kind of a no-no that I personally have done.
Okay.
And it was in my early days when I really didn't know how to network again. I'm just kind of out there doing it. And what I did when I went to the networking event was I just went around and just started passing out business cards.
That was you?
I mean, that was me.
Oh, no.
Oh my God. It's true confession, total transparency here, Cheryl. But yes, I was that guy that going around and I thought I had to pass out 100 business cards. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the biggest no-nos that you can do.
Yeah. Well, it says I don't care, right? It says I don't care. And I know we'll do deep dives on these particular subjects at different times, but you got to at least act like you care.
Right.
So fake it until you can get out of the networking event or whatever that is. So, well, that was at least it's a lesson learned, right?
Yes.
So that's good. So when we come back, one of the things that we really love to do is focus on the positive. Now, I know we're talking a little bit about the negative with the no-nos, but we're going to focus on a positive. When out of networking, we call it our grand slam. So when we come back, we're going to talk about our grand slams. Let's face it, employees waste time on the company dime. Why? Life's complicated. We help keep the junk of life out of the workplace and in the hands of the experts. Empowered Advantage, empowering employees, giving businesses the advantage. Letter M as in magnificent, poweredadvantage.com. Welcome back to Network Today. Cheryl and Rob enjoying our little Bliss coffee mugs, having chit chat about no-nos.
And I'm excited about it right now because we're going to talk about a grand slam, and I've got a good one for you.
You do? You want to start?
Just I would say probably 3 months ago, met a new connection at it was at Business Pros, which is one of the events that you vet on your calendar.
Yep.
And that's why I was there, because I know you carefully vet all these networking events out there. But I met, and then Jeff Sandine, of course, does a wonderful job of hosting the event and just a great bunch of professionals there. Yeah. But I was introduced to Russell Duckworth. And again, it's kind of one of those magical moments, again, because we meet so many people and you're trying to find out if you have synergies together, or are we just going to be friends, or you're going to be on my Christmas card list type of thing. But, Russell and I connected, and he is the ultimate professional connector. And since that time, we have developed a friendship, a business relationship. We probably email or text or talk at least minimum once a month. But we're accomplishing things that he's helping my clients, I'm helping him. We're introducing ourselves virtually through introductions through LinkedIn or whatever. But again, in just this short period of time, by focusing on the relationship side of it, that it's really turned into be something like what I want to call a grand slam.
Yes, that was a 4-run homer. That is Russell.
Yeah.
He's amazing. And you will likely see him and many other amazing guests on this show soon. Right. So I'm going to tell you about my grand slam because it was a windy road. Now, I like the analogy of the tree, right? The networking tree. So I'm going to start at the base, right? That would be me at the trunk.
Okay.
Somebody had introduced me. This is probably, again, we're talking long game, 4 or 5 years ago to a gentleman in marketing, right? He was with a really large national company in marketing. And at some juncture, he introduces me in this random email. I was just looking up to see kind of the pattern here, to a gentleman who's in insurance, but he kind of helps insurance agents expand their portfolio. So, these are all kind of loosely constructed. We just have a conversation, right?
Right.
And then that led to an introduction to a guy doing a national online financial program that's amazing. It's this amazing tutorial. I love. It's just beautiful. It's really unique. But with that, we forged a partnership. And so now we are rolling out nationally both of our services together.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm so pumped. But that's what happens.
Boom, out of the ballpark.
It's a boomer.
Wow.
Boomstick. So I thought what was so beautiful about this, because when you're networking, I want you to keep in mind that people are going to fall by the wayside, right? So this initial introducer, he actually is no longer in the picture. I have no idea what happened. I don't know where he is. He's still on my distribution list. I haven't heard from him. But hey, you just have to move on.
Yeah.
Right? And you just keep looking for that pearl in the oyster. So that was my networking tree, right? So this guy introduced me to this guy, and this guy introduced me to this guy, and then all of a sudden we've got this big old limb with lots of fruit.
Wow.
We'll be picking it soon. It's ripening. Yes. So that's a grand slam. All right. So we're going to take a brief break, and we're going to be right back. It's Network Today.
A small business is still a business. At Purple Cow Branding, we want to help you execute your greatest visions for your company. Purple Cow works for small businesses that don't have big budgets to spend on their marketing efforts. Inquire now at purpleCowBranding.com to be the biggest little guy around. Purple Cow Branding, much more than digital marketing.
Welcome to Network Today, and we are talking to the amazing Jaime Ellithorpe. She has got wisdom beyond wisdom on every subject under the planet, and in just such a gracious fashion. So,
well, thank you. I'm not sure where to even begin to thank you for that.
And why we were so excited about you talking on this particular topic is because you are so gracious and lovely. And sounds like an unlovely subject, and that's the networking no-nos, right? So it sounds a little negative. That's where we thought, well, you can deliver it in such a gracious, lovely fashion, as Jaime does. So in your networking experience, which is very wealthy, right? You have a lot of networking experience. What are some of those top no-nos that you've seen in the networking space?
Yeah. So I think that really this is just a major theme, but it's starting with not going to the networking group to get something. It's to give something. I think what I see with a lot of people is you can tell that nervousness or that underlying just feeling that they're trying to get new business or they're trying to close the sale. And networking is not the forum to do that. Networking is really the place to get to know people and start the seeds of that relationship. So that would be the number one thing that I would tell people is to just have that mindset that you're just going to give value and share your knowledge and expertise that you have in your business with the folks that are there and not focus so much on trying to meet the next sale.
Yes. Yes. That's a big aim.
Do you have something when you go to a networking event, Jaime, is there something that you've seen a real life story that someone's just kind of blown it and, done a major faux pas, a major no-no?
Yeah. One of the things that stands out to me is the person that's literally going around the room and passing out their business card as fast as they can to everyone in the room, almost like they've got a quota to pass out a half a box of business cards between now and the end of the evening. And they're not really stopping to build the relationship to make that business card worth really what it should be. Is that when people leave with a stack of business cards and there's nothing to remember about the people behind the business card, it really just doesn't do them any good.
I can't help but think, I hadn't really even connected the dots until I'm listening to you talk about that. Do you think that some of that's born out of the way their company is pushing them out? Like nobody's really training them. They're just saying, hey, go make connections, right? Just grow your personal atmosphere at these networking events and not really training them.
I think absolutely. I'm going to date myself a little bit, but I say that I came from the telephone Yellow Pages days when I first got out of school and got into sales. That was the number one way to prospect, was get out the yellow book, so to speak, and go down the list and just make cold calls until you found somebody that would not hang up on you. Right. And I really think that that's a mentality that even though we're in the digital world, it's still there. Yeah. And I think so many people who start a business or their first job out of the gates is sales, no one's really taking the time to train them on building the relationship. It's about getting the numbers or getting the sale, and that becomes the focus, not really the person who they're trying to help. So I think there's a big difference with like I said, going to give instead of the going to get mentality. You can really tell that on people, just the energy they give off, the things they say, and definitely the actions they're taking if they're passing their business cards around just like a deck of cards.
Well, yeah, it's like what Cheryl always says is, networking is the long game. And then most people are just going into that networking event and want to getting something immediately, the old drive-through in the fast food restaurant. But yeah, we've got to teach them that they're in it for the long haul, and you've got to develop that relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know from my corporate radio days too, it was, what have you done for me lately? And so I do think that's why I was thinking maybe it's that pressure that really fuels it. And also too, confidence, right? So their lack of confidence in themselves, so they just feel better about just passing out those business cards.
Yeah, I see with a lot of people, it's almost like a task that they need to check the box. Like, oh, I went to a networking group and I passed out 50 business cards, so now I'm going to have success. And it's not really about building the relationship and seeing where that relationship can go.
Yeah. So if there's a third no-no you could leave us with, what would that third no-no be?
Trying to close the sale at the networking event. Okay. I see so many people that go into their pitch on what they do and they're almost trying to sell someone at that moment. And really, to me, networking is about getting that first phone call booked, maybe, or that next cup of coffee. It's not about trying to close the sale.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And there's nothing that will push people further away from you. You'll be the lone person standing, I promise, if you are operating that way at a networking event, because everybody starts feeling that, so, hey, gotta run.
Yes, absolutely. So if they just take a little bit of time and just think about, how can I get this person to have a cup of coffee, or how can we just jump on the phone after this first interaction, things just typically go a lot smoother with networking.
Yeah. So being an authentic person, a real person.
Absolutely. That goes a long way.
Well, that would explain you, right? So I think that would absolutely define you. I think you're really genuine, and I think that's why this is a really good topic for you to speak on. So, Rob, any last questions on networking no-nos?
Well, I think in hearing Jaime talk is that you need to listen more than you need to be talking. That's what I would refer to. So many times you go there and people blah, 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 blah. And then we want to go in there. We want to ask questions and then listen. So I think that would be something where I just hear so many newbies out there that it's just talk. And they've got to stop that.
Yeah. Well, and truthfully, I think it's because they just don't have confidence in their ability to care about somebody, to listen and respond. So they'd rather just regurgitate and, like you said, check off the box. Hey, I regurgitated 27 times tonight. I'm all good. So surely somebody's going to buy from me, right? We want to ask you, the networking maven that you are, for newbies who are just getting into the networking process. So maybe they're fresh out of school. Maybe it's their first real outside sales job. Maybe they've gone from military to civilian life, right? Any of the above. What would be the one word you'd say, hey, I want that newbie to take this word and run with it?
Yeah. So I think the thing that helped me the most was I had a mentor tell me to stay abundant and to just get into the right mindset before you even enter the room, and tell yourself that I'm going to give. I'm not going into this room to get. And if you just put that in the back of your mind, it just shifts your energy so much, and you just show up so much more giving. You give off that energy of abundance, and it's like you attract people to you, because it is such a different approach. There are so many people in networking, as you know, that have that I'm here to get, I'm here to close the sale, I'm here to get the next new customer or client. And when you don't do that, you become kind of the anti in the room, and that's what makes you stand out from the crowd. So I would say absolutely show up abundant to all of your networking groups, and it'll just put you in the right energy.
Even when there are competitors in the room.
Absolutely.
We run into competitors, right? We embrace them, because we have having that abundant mindset means, hey, we all can make money together.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I actually make it a point to meet with a lot of my competitors. And when we first get on that networking call, they're kind of questioning me like, why did you want to have this call? And I always find there's some nuance between what we do that we can collaborate on. There's something that I might do just a little bit differently, or something that they do that I don't do. And it's a beautiful opportunity to actually collaborate and jointly get more business.
Awesome.
And it comes from the abundance. Yes. It's that abundant mindset that makes all the difference.
So newbies, own that word, take it, run with it. So yes, this is good. This is good. Well, we'll continue the conversation, I'm sure, online. Lots of chats, I'm sure, on the no-nos. And we're going to have you back. You're awesome.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Enjoyed it.
Here would be a no-no. do not connect with Jaime on LinkedIn. So spell your first name for us.
Jaime, and my last name is Ellithorpe.
Yes.
So I learned the alphabet very early on.
That's right. So thank you, Jaime, so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Network Today. We'll be back.
Are you having trouble with your VoIP phone system? Smart Office USA to the rescue. We're a local company here in DFW with real people, certified technicians, and we even come to your office to help you. Smart Office USA, representing the #1 VoIP phone system on the planet. And we are right here in DFW, ready to help you. Call us 214-272-0921 or go to www.smartofficeusa.com.
Welcome back to Network Today. We're going to go through the list of no-nos because that's what the episode's all about.
And
It's a long list.
It's a long list, and man, we got to get it down, Cheryl, because again, it's so important to how you present yourself. That's that first impression. It's like you say always, it's the long game, and we're in networking to make money.
Yeah.
And every time we have an opportunity and we spoil it, it's like flushing money down the drain.
Yeah. Yep.
So
That is, so you've got a list of about 10. I've got a list of about 15. So together, and then I had some people chime in, give me a couple of extras as well. So we will post this list online at networktodaydfw.com. And if you, I think I need to say this now while it's on my P-brain because I always forget. If you want to contact us, it's info@networktodaydfw.com. You should see it right here. All right, so let's go into not all of your top 10, but a couple of choice that you say, oh my gosh, these really are, if you want to concentrate on these two no-nos, these are the ones.
you know what? My favorite is, my #1 is don't network.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Which, kind of sounds kind of strange. I'm at a networking event. I'm supposed to network. That's how I grow my business. And I'm telling you right now, don't network, Cheryl. Whoa. But, what they're saying at that point, and what I got out of it is the fact that we can't come across salesy.
Right.
We just can't keep on talking about trying to sell you something and all that kind of stuff. So that's the important thing. It's just we want to get to know people. We want to ask a lot of questions about them.
Yeah.
We want to build the relationship. And so networking has gotten that reputation of we're there to sell you something.
Yeah.
And so we got to back off.
Yeah, I think that's very true. So, and I know in the last episode we were talking about newbies, you said your top thing is really being yourself. So that's an ongoing theme that you have, right? When you're talking here about don't be a networker, right? A professional networker. You have to be a professional and you have to do networking, but don't do it so that you're a professional networker.
And it is kind of confusing. It's kind of hard because, I'll be honest with you, I still have to go through that because when I go to a networking event, it's like you got to put on that mask to perform.
Yeah.
I'm an actor, and it's game time. And so I know that's not the game. Don't network, Rob. Be yourself, be authentic, who you are. And try to again get to know people.
Yeah.
Ask a lot of questions about them.
You can never go wrong with the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really good about that. So what's another one?
Don't go to networking events with your friends. You see this happen so many times. I'm guilty of it as well. Is that what happens is you go with your friends and you hang out, or if you go by yourself and you meet your friends there, you hang out with your friends. Well, why? I'm there to meet new people, new connections. And again, it's a time thing, and you never know when people are coming and going all the time that you might have missed one or two of those new people, a missed opportunity because you're talking to your friends. So
now I got to chime in on this one because I have to recommend to people who are new and they're like, I don't know how to network. Somebody told me to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, well, if you're uncomfortable, because some people they're just not out there. Right. So they're introverts, they're not extroverts, and they're afraid of being something they're not. So I recommend they do take a professional friend, like bring a pal. However, to your point, if you bring a friend, don't hang with your friend, right? Divide and conquer. So if you do need that extra support because you're a little, and it's funny that you say that because yesterday I was at a networking event And a gal that I know from years of radio, she's always with her girlfriend and they always sit at the same table, right? And I think it's awesome that they have that close relationship, but it does probably stymie their opportunity to really network and become vulnerable to a table of new people.
No, I think that's a good point. I think you could add that on is right. Go with a friend, again, if you're just a little shy or new to it, so that you'll feel comfortable. But again, you've got to learn to then go and meet new people. That's your mission statement. That's the purpose of why you're going to that networking event, is to meet new people. And you should set that goal ahead of time, saying, I'm going to this event. I'm going to be there for 60 minutes. And I want to meet 3 new people.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Have a goal. Have a purpose.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Okay. I'm going to give you my top 2 out of my 15 or 18 years. So, so my first one is kind of to your point. If you really want to be a networker that people love, work on helping open up the circle of discussion. Because you know how people they start little gaggles of geese, right? So like, and then if you're new and you don't know anybody and you're walking around, you can't get into that circle, right? It's really, really uncomfortable. Let me tell you who's brilliant, aside from you, at working a room and helping keep people open. And that's Ron Kennedy. I got to give him props for that, because he works really hard to make sure that
awesome.
that everybody is constantly mixing, right?
Yeah.
So to the point of being, oh, Ron, stop it. But he's so good at it. And it really is, I think, one of the kickers that really can separate a good group from a bad group, and that you can be not know anybody. You can be new to the group, but feel like you're getting plugged in. So don't tighten up that circle, kind of leave it open. Just talking about the physical space. So here's, and you'll see this on the list when it's posted. For me, it's item number 11. Don't get drunk. Don't get drunk at a networking event. A lot of the events that we put on happen to be after hours, because I like to save my money-making hours, right? So it's after hours. It involves a beverage or 2, but, you got to know when to say when. And so there was somebody at a networking event that we hosted, that we are mid-market professionals, right? So this was probably about 2 years ago now. And doggone it, if he didn't, at the end of the hour, it was 1 hour, and he's like, I think I already broke number 11. It's like, oh my God. And now to this day, I don't know where he is. Right? Because he violated the rule of, don't overdrink. So I hope that should go without saying, but obviously not. Obviously, we need to know where our limits are. So
absolutely. And I think, again, once we put this, list together, we publish it so our guests can take a look at it, study it. Again, is the whole thing. What we're trying to do is we're trying to improve your skill set on becoming a better networker. And this no topic is so important, so that you won't make those mistakes and again, lose business from it.
That's right. And feel free to share these too with people in other networking groups that you're a part of, or if you're mentoring somebody, right? So you can go to, again, networktoday.dfw.com, and Kenzie and Kate are so great about posting all of these on-demand resources that you can just look at and review and share with others. So we could all get, what's a tide rises all ships? Is that right? A rising tide raises all.
Got me.
They don't have ships in Canada. Yeah, okay. That's all right. That's all right. So networking no-nos, this is what we're talking about. As we wrap this episode up, we had newbies, right? So if you're a newbie and there's a no-no that a newbie really should stay away from, is there something other than the list that we've talked about so far that you want to leave that newbie with?
Is there a newbie? Well, there's so many to talk about. Ooh, you kind of stumped me there for a moment.
It was a
say that to me one more time.
So last week, right? Our other episode 1 was about newbies, and this is about no-nos. So is there a newbie no-no that you say is pivotal to their success?
Well, I mean, I think it's coming across authentically. I mean, be yourself. Be relaxed. Be yourself. And again, I think one of the things is ask for help.
That's good.
When you're a newbie, ask for help.
That's good.
So you're admitting the fact that, hey, I need to learn from you guys.
See, I knew we'd bring it out of it.
There you go.
That's right. So, man, we should do a whole episode, note to self, on working with gatekeepers to ask by asking for help.
Yeah.
That was a whole discussion I had with somebody the other day. So yeah, that would be a really good one when you're trying to make calls and money and stuff. So with that, we've got episode number 3 that's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's going to be next week. It'll be awesome as always. Right? It'll be another topic.
Well, important tips on that one. Again, this is huge. Again, the next topic is going to be huge.
Yeah, it will. You're also going to find some resources on demand from Rob, from me. Rob has the paper resources, so in the form of books and other things. And I like electronic resources. So you're going to see some of those neat little tech items that I'm going to post on there. Not all of them I vetted myself. Some I'm just going to ask you to tell me what you think. So, right. So that's kind of part of it. But this show is all about taking you from meeting people to making money. Right. And we want to hear from you. So again, info@networktoday.dfw.com. You're going to check out our LinkedIn page because our amazing Kate and Kinsey, you're getting all that stuff up, all our social media platforms. We want you to be involved and become part of the Network Today Nation.
And again, is with these tips, Cheryl, what we're doing is we're hoping to shorten the journey, like we've been talking about again, and so that they can become successful in their careers.
Right.
They can become successful at their jobs. They can make money.
Yeah.
And so on. So yeah, the whole thing is we're going to shorten that process with the tips that we're given here on the show.
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to help you exercise that muscle. So. You were talking about, so practice makes permanent.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that
practice
makes permanent. I heard it yesterday from a gentleman who was speaking at a networking. Practice makes permanent. So we're going to help you practice the things that are right by understanding the things that are wrong, so that you can make money and network better. And you can have networking confidence. That's a big deal.
And that brings up something too, is that, networking is part of your marketing plan.
Yeah.
And people sort of they separate the two issues of networking here and marketing here. But no, this is for my company. It's my number one lead generator is networking.
Yeah.
And so I've got to practice this. I've got to master it.
Yeah. And
again, with the tips that we're providing, we're going to help that happen.
That's right. So Rob, love working with you.
This is an awesome experience, Cheryl.
Yes, it has. So, hey, to more bliss, more networking bliss. Cheryl Powers, Rob Bliss. It's Network Today. Looking forward to seeing you again next week.
This has been a Purple Cow production.